What's happening, my outcasts? I'm Insanity, and I'd like to welcome you to this very special episode of Insanity Collection. One that I suspect you will be very interested in. It's a little taste of my origin story, a taste of who or what I am. If you've wondered why I have this collection of dark, mysterious stories to share with you, look no further than this letter to the editor. Please enjoy. Dear Editor, my name shall remain unknown before you for the time being, but you and your would-be followers can call me Insanity. Please allow me to introduce myself with the deepest respect and tell you all about my story and the proposal I am about to make. I was born in 1756 on a cold winter's night in the fair state of Virginia. My childhood and education were quite usual, and I fought the good war for the liberation of the country, which I served my whole first life. I had quite a reputation for being on the Congress under the presidency of one James Monroe, but that was a long time ago, and I have committed other deeds that, if became known back then, would have guaranteed me a nice noose around my neck. Power does things to people. It changes them for better or worse. I am not one to judge. Only God has that privilege. But God is dead. We killed him, as it turned out. However, the devil is still alive, as you will come to understand. I'm getting ahead of myself, so let me start not at the beginning of my Congress years, but at the events that led to the current state I'm in. After coming to understand the workings of the state, my interests wandered onto more murky waters. I was already long past my 16th birthday, and I could feel the pains of an aging body. My spirits still high, I sought out help, but normal medicine was not enough to cure my condition. Doctors still cannot cure old age, of course, so my endeavor was in vain. I was disappointed with the results and started looking for alternatives. I studied the teachings of the Far East, the mysteries of Kabbalah, and the rituals of the natives. But after wasting some years, I still had to face the horrors of growing older each day. That was when someone, who shall remain anonymous, heard about my failed ventures in mysticism and decided to help me. He initiated me into the White Phoenix Lodge, which back then was frequented by the greatest minds of the time. It does not exist anymore, as the person who cast his shadow onto all of us decided to abandon the continent as he got bored. My position was of a procurer. I needed to find the best candidates to be offered as sacrifice to the one we called our master. The things I did were of a beauty and disgust, joy and sorrow. And as I took the unholy sacrament time and time again, I felt the life rushing back into my brittle bones. My skin would regain its elasticity, my teeth were no longer loose. Only my heart would shrivel, but that was not as bad as you would imagine. I do not even have one anymore, and I feel just fine. Soon, I was enjoying the grandest banquets you could imagine, with the best wines and most gorgeous women, like I had no more than 20 summers behind me. Of course, my family and friends were appalled, but why would I need them? I had my power and had my mentor, with whom my relation was growing stronger just as I did. One day, we invited all of my comrades from the lodge, and while I was drunk on wine and his words, he asked me if I wished to live forever. I laughed at his proposal and replied with a firm nod. He then stood up, handed me a knife, and then our work began. That was the end of the White Phoenix Lodge and the first day of my new life. After the deed was done, he handed me a goblet filled with the blood of my friends and infused with a drop of his most sacred essence. Drunk it all I did, and I was born anew. I looked into a mirror to find myself not just changed from my old self, but even my younger version wouldn't have recognized the image as his own reflection. My fingers, long as snakes and adorned with claws, my pale skin, my hair shining oily black, my red eyes, and the pointed fangs in my mouth were just like my master's. He proclaimed that I shall be forever cursed to drink the blood of the unsuspecting, to never feel the sun on my hide again, and to never know love. I became just like him. He vanished into the night, and I never saw him again. My days as a mere congressman has ended, and my presidency of the night has finally begun. Praying, pillaging, torturing was my life now. But even that became stale as time went on. I was bored of my ever-empty existence, so I looked into the void where my heart used to be to find new meaning. Terrifying a person was the only joy I had left, but scaring individuals was just not fitting for my position. The solution I found was that I would scare all who spoke my language. And what better way to frighten them than to tell them of the monstrosities that lurk in the dark, the things that sit in the corner when they turn down the lights, the unimaginable horrors of the world. So I penned down my own account first and went out to gather the tales that would shook their worlds and make them look over their shoulders all the time they spend awake, and the substance that would make up the nightmares. I heard about your enterprise, which is of a similar fashion to my own. I'm old and not very well versed in this magic you call technology, but I do have my collection, which I would like to release to you in the hopes that together we can cover the hearts of the day-dwelling folk in an eternal darkness and extend my reign of terror over them. I would carefully consider this proposition, as I am not the one that takes no for an answer. Yours sincerely, Insanity.